step in his walk after that coming up that mountain that inning. It was like, wow.
Yeah. How many pitches did he throw in the end?
He threw, I believe, 11.
Okay. So he looked good.
He looked really good. I was surprised from first pin I saw him throw to the first little inner squad that or the simulated game that we set up to that. It was like a light turned on, and his whole makeup was what you expected to see in Mark Pryor.
From a pitcher standpoint, you know better than most people what types of mental ups and downs he's been through the last 4 years. I mean, what's that reputation like for guys trying to get his arm to feel like he used to?
It's just like being in a dark room with a small little white light there. You know, as every time that light gets brighter, it seems like someone turns it off again. And you know, for him to be even out here after what he's been through is a testament to his character. 4 years of going through rehab shoulder. I had the shoulder done too. I've had Tommy John, and the shoulder's by far much worse. And he just keeps fighting, and you can see that in his face when he walked off the mound. It was just it's a long, strenuous, painful, frustrating road that he was on, and finally getting to face some hitters that actually meant something. As far as this actually seems the way as it is from the big leagues, it was a huge step for him, you know, and I think there's a lot more in him as well. I think it's not going to happen overnight, but I think when he gets there, he'll have a couple more ticks on the fastball, and his pure ball that he was talking about will have a little more bite to it, and but the juices are there. He's not even 30 yet. He's 30, you know, and he's got a lot ahead of him.
How has he kind of fit in so far? Obviously, he's got a couple other guys that are big leaguers on this team, but kind of fitting in terms of helping other guys out, talking about what it was like. You know?
Well, he just got here.
Yeah.
But today was a day where I really noticed that he was just one of the guys. You know, I went in the locker room, and he's here for the workout, and when's the next workout, and what an injury like that does to you, it really humbles you. You know, and he's basically starting over. You know, now he's going to be accelerated as soon as he starts showing that he's similar to what he was. But this is something a good springboard for him to showcase himself and show people that teams that he's got the same stuff that he had before he got hurt.
And how do you kind of plan on utilizing here on out then?
Well, we talked about that, and one thing that we don't want to do is have him have a setback. You know, and so. He feels like it's better for him to pitch out of the pen, and he thinks that's a better way for him to get back to the big leagues is coming out of the pen. So it actually fills a need for me, and so I'm like, yeah, no problem. And so he's going to pitch out of the pen. I see him kind of being a setup guy, pitching 2 innings here, a couple days off, 2 innings there. You know, we got to build up his arm strength. Relieving and starting aren't much difference on taxing your arm. Reliever's warming up every day. He's pitching 2-3 times a day, or sometimes in a row, with a day off or 2, and then right back on it. There's really no extended days off. Like a starter, has a day off after it starts, then goes a pen, has a couple days off. They're both getting close about the same amount of pitches. It's just it's a different kind of more of a mental mindset. We got to get his arm in shape so he's able to. I see him throwing 2 days early on, 2 days off, 2 days. And then eventually see if he can go back to back.
Did you know Mark at all before?
I'd met him before. I was a union rep, and played the union rep 1 year.
So what was the kind of reaction when he heard that obviously he was interested in coming over here and kind of rejoining this club especially?
Well, it's kind of been like a 2-year process in my mind, because my center fielder's dad is his agent, and I was always inquiring about him, see where he's at. Last year I was pitching coach, and thinking in the back of my mind, wow, what a great thing to have Mark Pryor come in here and help us out. And then this year, as he got closer, and it sounded like he was getting closer to being able to actually do this, I started kind of picking Steve Boggs' brain a little bit. John Boggs' brain a little bit, and saying, what's Pryor doing? You know. But I know what he was doing. He was hoping to get him to an affiliated team first and go that route and hold out for that, hopes of that. But I really believe that they want to see him throw and log some innings and log some pitches and see him not break down before he gives him an opportunity.
Do you have any? We were talking earlier about theories about why it's been such a tough road. Some people say he threw too many innings of pitches in Chicago, and then he had a collision with a guy, and then he got drilled with a line drive, and then he had a very complicated operation. When you probably didn't follow it that closely, but I mean, do you think that's a combination of those things, or does any of it make sense individually?
You know, I have my theories. I think sometimes guys look like they have ultra smooth mechanics,
Yeah.
and when they're young and they're strong, they can get away with maybe slight little flaws. I'm not saying he has flaws,
Yeah.
but when they break and you're rehabbing that, and that everything atrophies inside your shoulder and and everywhere, you stop using it basically. And if those mechanics aren't spot on when you're rehabbing and you're only using 50-60% effort that you were when you were healthy, you never can get to that point to where you were before, because everything's weaker. Even though you're strong, you're young, it's just those small little fine little muscles in there, you know, they get weak and they're really delicate. And if they're not, those mechanics don't allow that shoulder to work, and this is a lot of strain, it makes it a longer road. And you know, you can get in bad habits before you have surgery, trying to find where it doesn't hurt.
Right.
And so then when you're coming back, you might have some bad habits that weren't there before. So it can kind of slow the process down a little bit, and it's mentally it's just hard to get right back to where you were. I think that kind of can delay the rehab.
His delivery looked, so, I mean, to a layman anyway, looked pretty clean, but even that, you could have some, you know, little minor, possibly minor flaws in there.
Yeah, those it's I think everybody. I think if you look at more of genetics, you know, everybody has an X amount of throws before they're gonna have surgery. I mean, we don't walk with our hands over our heads. I mean, it's not a normal movement that we do. And then, you know, so I think that, you know, you have your special kind of, I wouldn't say they're freaks, but your Nolan Ryans and your Randy Johnsons that can fish, you know, throwing 95 until they're in low 40s, and that's just not really realistic. And I think that, you know, it just, like I said, it just happened, and once that happens and they cut on you, then it's anybody's guess, you know, when you can come back, really. The shoulder's the most biggest question mark in the rehab,
Yeah.
you know, to where you can't really pinpoint the time frame on it. The Tommy John they got down is pretty simple, but the shoulder's really difficult.
You talked about speaking with Boggs. What were the intentions initially, just to kind of help Mark in his career, or to have another pitcher coming out of the bullpen? Or?
I tell everybody on my team when we started out that this is for them, it's not for me. You know, this is a springboard for all. They hope, you know, and it's a way to showcase themselves, and hopefully a scout comes down and they see maybe a second round pick that need a little more seasoning, that they can get back into affiliated baseball. So you know, you tell them that and try to assemble the best possible team you can, but this is for him, you know, and for a guy like him to be, they're going to need a place. I was there myself at one time. You know, it helps both of us. I mean, I have a need for him, and if he's a guy that he was even 80% of the guy he was, he's going to be an asset for me. You know, and also he can use us to, like I said, to showcase himself.
Paul, how did you get involved in all of this? Once Mark had his workout in June, how did all of this progress to the point he signed with the Flyers?
His agent's son is our center fielder, so he sits here. He's at almost at every game, and I actually had a scout friend of mine go to the workout at SC. Just randomly sent me a text saying, "Oh, I was in town. I saw Mark Pryor throw, you know," and he kind of gave me an update on him. I go, "Well, his dad comes every day. His agent comes every day," and so that gave me kind of an